Yes.
All right, good afternoon. We're here for our Civil Service Commission meeting on Monday, April 22nd. First item on the agenda is the approval of the Civil Service minutes of March 5th, 2024. And there was one change, right?
Not on the minutes.
Oh, not on the minutes, okay. Everybody get-
I reviewed these ahead of time. They look good. I make a motion to approve them as recorded.
I'll second.
It's been motion and second that we approve the minutes. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposes, motion carried. Okay, next, police, got a couple of things. You want to go ahead with yours?
Is this the part with the lateral language? I'm
This
sorry, I
is
don't
your
have-
list.
Oh, with our list? Okay, so we recently had an eligibility list. We had an examination through the National Testing Network. We had 19 or 20 candidates take the test on the National Testing Network. A few recalled after they're submitting their scores because they received employment elsewhere and or different opportunities. There's a few no-call, no-shows at our physical agility test. And two of these candidates actually satisfy a lateral candidate pursuant to the current lateral candidate language, so we removed those names and carried that on a different list. So what we have in front of you is, I think, 10 names ultimately.
Yes, sir.
There's some viable candidates on this list. We were pretty pleased with some of our initial conversations and some background checks, so hopefully we can make some hires from this list.
Great.
So you're requesting that we approve this list?
Yes, sir.
Any questions for the
I'll-
chief?
I'll make a motion that we approve the list.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's been motion and second that we approve the list. Any questions?
I have a
Mr.
question.
May?
Yes, sir.
I'm reluctant to ask because I just look at the minutes and clearly I talk too much, but what's the agility test? I'm assuming this is 2 minutes, 12 seconds, 146, so on and so forth?
Yeah, so you actually have 3 minutes and 45 seconds to complete it. It's you scale a 6-foot fence, you run 300 meters, so it's 150 meters out, 150 meters back. You scale a 4-foot fence, you do a dummy drag, which happens to be a weight rack with 145 pounds on it. And then you dry fire a revolver 21 times with your dominant hand and 6 times with your non-dominant hand. That's the physical.
You do that in
agility
like
test.
turnout gear or in a uniform or just like PT gear?
Our officers will, once they become full-time officers. We have some athletes out there who like to get the high score, and they'll do it in a full uniform. I did it with them a couple times. This one, though, they just come in their workout clothes.
Okay.
It's at our range, our outdoor range facility.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposes, motion carried. And then you got a request to amend the civil service language for Rule 9.10, lateral hire transfer.
I do, sir. The reason we're asking you to consider making an amendment to the language is we are still having hard times being at the academies as the academies run. So they run at different times throughout the year. Some academies have 12 cadets in them. Some have less. Most recently, Sandusky's Academy is going to graduate 5 or 6. One of those is actually one of our officers. The way it's set up currently, we would have to go to the academy and then ask one of these potential recruits to wait 6 to 8 months till we give another list. They're going to get hired. They're gone. They have other employment by that point in time. What this would potentially do is offer us the opportunity to get in front of those cadets, and as long as they have a certificate, which means they are certified by the state of Ohio, they've completed the academy, they successfully graduated, and they've successfully taken the test, the state test, to become certified as an officer, we could at least accept their application as a potential candidate for hire. If they have less than 6 months on, we would make them take the National Testing Network test like all their other eligibility or entry-level candidates do. This is really a means to get us more opportunities to have potential viable candidates for the police department. Currently, we're at 46 officers. We have a lateral candidate that's going through the final stages of his pre-employment hiring. We also have 2 more possible lateral candidates that we identified through this, but we're budgeted for 53 officers, and we can't make the academies fill up, but there are people out there that we don't have the opportunity to try to get to work for the Sandusky Police Department the way it's set up right now. And nobody saw any of this coming 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 25 years ago, but it is here now. And for instance, Lorraine Community College, their academy's in session right now. It just started. Ehovie's Academy just started. Owens will start in 2 months. Terrace starts end of August. Currently, if we have the ongoing eligibility list, the way it's set up right now, those are the only potential candidates we can get to without giving another list, which means we have to publicly announce that list for 30 to 45 days. That list has to remain open for 30 to 45 days. We have to come back, have a couple more meetings. That's another couple week process. So we are really trying to streamline it the best we can to give us the most opportunity to have some candidates.
Any anticipated pushback from anybody, the union or?
Absolutely not. I've already discussed this with the union several times before we approached the Civil Service Commission.
Does your number of officers include what you need at Cedar Point too?
Yeah. So Cedar Point pays the city of Sandusky for 5 full-time officers. Our contract calls for having 2 officers on duty over there all the time, but they'll pay us year-round for 5 officers. Previous to the Cedar Point agreement, we were budgeted for 48 officers. Now we're budgeted for 53. If we can really get to 50, 51, we're really doing good. And then it's a matter of, we still have some spots that we're looking to fill. We're in this just like everybody else. I was talking to the Norwalk's police chief today, who's our former lieutenant. They're down 5 at an agency with 25. That's 20% of the workforce. You talk to Cleveland PD, they're down 200. Toledo's down 50. And everybody is pulling from the same candidates. Lorraine Police Department's down, I think, 12, pulling laterals from all the other agencies. Illyria's down. They were budgeted for 100. They have like 89. And everybody's going to the same place, the same thing. So it's just a matter of doing all you can to try to keep up, but to also make sure your standards are set, they're set high, and you're getting the right officers to protect your city. So
It sounds like if I'm reading this correctly, we're striking out these minimum years of service someplace else, so we're signing up for a little more OJT with these guys?
yeah, well, we have a good training program. I failed to mention, we also are talking, we would like to raise the age to 45. And the reason that is if we are going to get a lateral candidate who might have 10 years on the job, he's going to be older than 35, probably, he or she. So it's just another avenue to get where we need to be.
And are you lowering it to 17 too? Or is
I would love to. We can't hire an officer
They
till they're
have to be
21.
21, right?
Yeah, they have to be 21. That's a fire rule.
Okay, that's fired is doing that.
I say that, but I should recall that because there's not many people who are ready to be a police officer at 17 years of age.
Okay.
But there is talk at the State House of lowering that to 18.
All right, any other discussion?
No.
Got that look on your face,
does.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. May,
It's
I'd be
okay,
glad to answer
Mr.
a
May.
question.
That's all right.
It's okay.
I'll talk to you offline. I'm just curious, from a bigger picture, how are we going to solve this?
Yeah.
How are we going to solve this big picture?
Yeah.
I get it. We're scrapping. We got to get in there. We got to get in there and scrap for these guys.
We do.
But everybody's down. It's not just because, it's like, who the hell wants to live in Sandusky? Bite your tongue. We all do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But this is.
I make a motion. Can I make a motion to have this approved as the language is written down here? That's my motion.
And I'll second.
Okay, it's been motion and second that we approve this language change. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposes, and the motion's carried. Anything else for police?
No, sir. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I know that, the language has to be published for a certain
Yes.
period of time.
Yes.
If during that period of time, there is some nattering nabob of negativity that comes up with why this isn't a good idea, we would still be able to walk this back, yes?
So yes, they would come and address it at our next meeting. We're proposing this amendment and you're saying, okay, you're
Right,
giving us
right. This is
permission
just,
for us to
we're
post
just
it.
proposing it.
Yes, and so
Okay.
in that 30 days, if someone says, yes, I don't like this, they're going to show up at that next meeting where you would approve this language, and we would have that discussion. Chief Oliver would have the opportunity again to explain why this is needed, why we're doing it,
Right.
and we can address any issues and concerns at that time.
Okay. And before that meeting, he may come up with a whole way to fix the world.
Yes.
Okay.
I got my money on him.
I'll keep trying.
All right, my questions have all been answered for now.
Sometimes with the big elephant is one bite at a time. That's what we got to do, one little bite at a time.
I agree, thank you.
All right, fire, request to amend civil service language, request to amend civil service language, request to amend civil service language. So you're amending all kind of civil service language, huh?
Yes, well, two of them kind of go together. 6.04, the age requirement of 18 to take the test, and 6.07, the education requirement to take the test and to apply for the position. That's what I want to change. I'd like to give the high school seniors an opportunity to sign up and take our exam, even though they may not have a diploma or be age 18. They would, obviously, the new language says that upon hire that they would have to be 18 or have their diploma or GED. I know this year alone, I've walked like about 10 seniors from Perkins and Sandusky through and talked to them about the fire service and how to go about getting these jobs. And some of them won't have the opportunity to actually take the test because they weren't going to have their diploma by the time our testing period ended. This time around, since this won't be in effect until the next list, if it gets changed, we pushed our hiring test back a little bit so that it doesn't end until June 7th. That encompasses all the high schools around, so all those kids will be able to go through their graduation, get their diploma, and then be able to apply and take the test. So just a way to get some more local people on our lists. Like, we don't have a huge problem like police does where we don't have enough candidates to choose from. We have enough candidates. It's just with the market the way it is for fire department jobs, people can go whenever they want. So if we're hiring from someone from the Cleveland area, chances are is pretty good that they're probably going to go back to the Cleveland area when they get a higher paying offer that's closer to home. And we've seen that happen a couple times here off of this last list. So I personally think it's key that we try to concentrate on our local area. That's our best chance of retaining the employees that we can get, and giving these high school kids an opportunity before they graduate to get on the list, I think will give us a little bit of benefit.
So for an older candidate, during his application process, would you verify his educational status? What I'm wondering is this: if you got somebody that's applying that's 25 years old, you go through the whole process, you're ready to hire him, and then upon hire, he doesn't have his GED or he doesn't have his, is there a potential waste of time there?
I believe in the application, it still says that you have to provide all your certificates, your diploma, all your proofs of everything that you have.
Okay.
The only caveat in the civil service rules is that you wouldn't actually have to present that until you get hired.
Yeah.
But in order to apply, it has
They
all
would
that in the
present all that
application.
information to
So
me.
you have the
Yes.
information, so that's
Yes,
good.
I have that.
We're not necessarily verifying it after, they're offered a job.
Right.
We're just giving those few kids an opportunity to get on the list.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Oh, well, if there's any other questions about education or age, I had one more that I was looking to
Right.
change also.
Go ahead.
The third one that I wanted to change was Rule 8.02, and that was the extra credit on the exam. We've gone through a couple changes here over the past few years with what credit we were giving people. Obviously, military gets 20% no matter what, and the maximum is 20% no matter what. Currently, what we're doing is we're giving people that have a fire certification 10%, people that have an EMT 10%, and people that have their paramedic 10%. So it keeps people all in the same, like at the same level. It doesn't boost anybody with more training up at all. And to us, somebody that has their firefighter 1 and 2 and their paramedic is the most valuable. So we want to have the first crack at them and in hiring them. So we need to kind of boost them to the top a little bit. My proposed change is going back to how it was written in 2005, where in order to get 10%, you have to have your fire certification and your EMT. If you didn't have both, you don't get 10%. And then you get 10% for your medic. So a firefighter medic would be right at the top automatically. So that's the most valuable for us to hire. That's the most valuable commodity for any fire department out there.
So is it one certification, firefighter 1 and 2?
You can get them you get them separately. You go through firefighter 1, like if you're a volunteer, that would be your firefighter 1. That's like the basically what you need to be a volunteer. To be a full-time firefighter, you have to have your fire 2. So most programs, you get it all at the same time with, you go through the first half, get 1, and then when you're completely done, you get firefighter 2.
So to get the extra credit, you'd have to have
Have to have-
2, 1 and 2, and you'd have to have the EMT.
Correct.
Okay.
And somebody with firefighter 1 and 2 and EMT and paramedics, they can pretty much go right to work. And most people would have, if they're a paramedic, most of them have their firefighter 1 and 2. So that automatically boosts them to the top. A lot of times when we do get medics on our list, if they end up at 15 or 18 in the scored list, by the time we can get around to interviewing them or offering them a job, they've already been picked up and gone somewhere else.
Okay, any other questions?
I'll make a motion that we approve the proposed change.
Second the motion.
All right, it's been motion and second that we approve the civil service language for Rule 6.04, 6.07, and 8.02. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposes? Motion carried. All right. Oh, you know what? We never called roll and
Roll.
all of that. You know.
And I usually catch you for that.
I know, you're supposed to do better.
Okay, well, we're going to call roll. Mr. May.
Here.
Mr. Rhodes.
Here.
Mr. McGookie.
Here.
All
All
right.
right. What about anything else?
Next meeting, so as Chief Mario said, the test ends for fire June 7th, so we'd probably like to have it closer to the middle or the end of June to come back and approve this language if there is no one to contest, and to certify his original fire list.
Okay. And that's the same for Chief Oliver's?
Yes, it would be for all the language.
Okay,
Yes,
all of that. Okay,
got nothing else.
all right. Anybody else? I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.